I'm going to give everyone an update on the Align working group. This is the working group that's working on the alignment of commercial, government, and research activities. So when we took a look at this, we had actually representatives on the working group from all the different areas, and there was a consensus that in the government aspect of things, they have special needs. So therefore, everything's special, and they can't use anything commercial. So what happens because of that is they do have special needs, and they do have special capabilities they need to do, but there's also, I'm being polite by saying huge, it's a massive replication of what's already been done. Massive. There's some amazing new things being done, but there are incredible amounts of work being done to do what's available to buy for $10,000, but we're spending millions, billions. That can't continue and have us make progress. The research area, their whole goal is they want to do research to publish papers, to do things forward, to make technological advances. But once they've decided and come up with a new algorithm, they really don't have any incentive to carry the deliverables further. And commercial vendors really have a lack of resources and inclination to support pure research. They want to support something they can put into their product and make into features. And a lot of times what happens is IP issues really get in the way in all three. If you work at a collaborative situation between a commercial vendor and a research, and where they're working with a university with two postdocs to do some work on something, guess what? Both of them want to own the IP. That's not going to happen. So what happens? The research doesn't get funded because it's unclear where the IP ends up. So there's all kinds of issues, not just about technology, but there's all kinds of cultural issues, there's all kinds of relationship issues where things have broken down. In Europe, there's a very strong effort to try to rebuild and reconnect these things. We're starting to see some effort here in North America to improve some things. Each of the three areas have done some amazing things on their own. And they will all three continue to do amazing things on their own, but it's not going to get us to that 10,000. They're going to be able to do that. They're going to be able to support the 10% growth. They're not going to be able to support the massive growth that we're expecting in demand to come forward. Not unless we can find some way to align and work together and share results and take better advantage of what each other's doing. So we have some recommendations to get all parties involved earlier in the chain, and we want to actually do an inventory of current mechanisms for cooperation. We want to take a look at some of the things like MOSIC, some of the things that the Vivace program, some of the programs where there's been successful use cases of collaborations between research, commercial, and government capabilities. And we want to understand how do we better leverage that and repeat that and make that a common theme. The next step for the Align working group is to put together a research paper. So what we're trying to do is do one that's understanding the current status of alignment or lack thereof across these three different vectors. So we're not trying it, the first pass is not to do a here's how we fix it, it's to get a clear state and agreement on the current situation. And I think you might have seen, I'm going to diverge a little bit, you might have seen in all of the research papers that we've talked about so far, they all start with understanding. The idea is we want to get to a common understanding first, so then we can enable the next step. So ASSESS is bringing together the leading experts in the areas of simulation and systems engineering to get to a common understanding as a first stage. And I often refer to this as understanding the simulation revolution that has to occur. And then the next stage is going to be enabling that simulation revolution.